Hey sis, welcome to Ask Dr. Joy, our exclusive Patreon series. I'm so glad you're here. This space is all about community, where you'll find thoughtful discussions, meaningful connections with other sisters, and brand new content just for you. In this series, we'll dive into your questions, share insights, and tackle the topics that matter the most to you. Remember, this is your space, grounded in sisterhood and support. Now let's jump into today's conversation. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Ask Dr. Joy, where I answer your questions about life, career, family, relationships, whatever it is. So today's questions are generally around family and caregiving. So here's the first question. My family does not understand depression. They assume I need to pray or start gaslighting me. How do I get them to understand? So I do understand that this is something that unfortunately sometimes happens with families, right? If there has not been a long history of people seeking mental health support, when somebody finally does, people don't understand what's going on. They don't know why you're talking to a stranger. It sounds like there's some religious, background here. And so people feel like, oh, if you just pray about it, you'll be fine. And I think the message that I want to leave you with is that they may not ever understand. And you still have to take care of yourself, right? So I don't think that the work that you're thinking you need to do should be around helping them to understand. The work really is about you continuing to take care of yourself and then finding other circles, other support systems that will understand you. Because if all of your energy is going to help them to understand, I feel like that may be a little fruitless because they may never understand. And so you still want to do the work that you need to do to take care of yourself. It is still valid. It is still worthy that you take care of yourself, even if your family never understands it. And I think that you can empathize and like kind of maybe see where they're coming from, but that still doesn't mean that you don't do what you need to do to take care of yourself. So I want you to change your focus a little bit and not for worry so much about helping them to understand what's going on and put your energy instead into continuing to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself and finding other people who will support you in this journey. Good luck. Here's our next question. I can't care for my mentally ill mother anymore, not even from a distance. I'm gaining back weight I had previously lost from stress eating, and I recently found out I wasn't accepted into the graduate program I applied to. I feel so guilty about handing the reins over to her brother, especially knowing I'd also be giving up an inheritance. As a Black woman, I understand the importance of generational wealth, but my health and my own dreams are on the line. I've been emotionally caring for her since I was 6 years old. How do I release this responsibility without carrying so much guilt? This is another situation where it feels like the dynamics are really difficult here. So it sounds like you're talking about caregiving, but you're also talking about an inheritance, and I'm not sure exactly how that enters the picture. But what I do here is I cannot do this anymore, right? And I think a lot of times we entertain this idea of like, I don't know that I can make this decision because I feel so guilty about it. But guilt does not indicate that you are doing something wrong, especially when it comes to taking care of ourselves, right? And setting boundaries and prioritizing ourselves. Just because guilt is present does not mean that you are not making the right decision for yourself. And so the guilt may be kind of a byproduct of you choosing yourself finally, right? I hear you saying, I've been taking care of her since I was 6 years old, which is very, very young to be in a caretaking position, right? And so it is sounding like there's a long history of you not being able to assert your own needs or without you being able to take care of yourself or with other people taking care of you, right? Because at 6, you are in you're a child. And so it really should be the reverse, that there are people taking care of you, not you feeling the responsibility to take care of your mother. And so it sounds like this is something that you tried to do for a very long time, and it sounds like you just are running on fumes at this point. And so if there are other people like her brother, it sounds like, who are able to kind of take off some of that weight from you, then I think that it is totally okay for you to choose that as an option, and allow the rest of the support system to step up and to take care of her. And again, it sounds like there's some money on the line here, like an inheritance, and maybe you don't get the inheritance if you're not a caretaker. I'm not exactly sure, but as you stated, the money is good, but money will not solve all of your problems, nor is it any good to have money if you are so broken down that you're not even able to do what you need to do with the money, right? Like, just everything is not worth your time, your energy. No amount of money can kind of put yourself back together if you fall apart in the quest of trying to take care of somebody else. And so it sounds like there is a perfectly viable option in terms of her brother to step in as a caregiver right now. And so I would encourage you to do what you need to do to take a step back, right? At some point, you may reconsider, reevaluate, and feel like you have a little bit more resource and more bandwidth to step back in, and maybe it can be a shared thing. But right now, it's sounding like it's just not something that you can do anymore. And so the guilt may still be there, right? But again, the guilt can be there, and you can make a decision to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for asking that question. Here's our last question. As I'm healing and doing the inner work, I'm realizing how much of my own parenting and relationships were shaped by what I didn't get from my own family. How do I continue this healing without resentment toward the people who raised me? So the truth is that you may have resentment, right? Like, it is okay to feel resentful when you feel like something that should have been provided to you was not, especially in the interest of being a child and not feeling like your parents did what they were supposed to do to take care of you, or didn't provide certain opportunities, or however you feel like you were harmed. It is totally okay to feel resentful about the things that didn't happen. It's okay to be angry and upset and sad about, this is how I think this should have gone and it didn't, and now you're dealing with the reality of it. So I want you to hear that the resentment there's nothing wrong with it, right? Like, it's normal to be resentful when things that should have been given to us were not given to us. However, and like I said, in a previous question, that doesn't mean that the responsibility for moving forward and taking care of ourselves is not still ours. And so you may never understand why your parents and your family made the decisions that they made, and still you need to take care of yourself, right? And so it could be that there is a conversation you want to have with them about how you feel like whatever happened between all of you has led to what your life is now. Like, that may be an option. But I do want to caution you that a lot of times people do not apologize, even when they have wronged you. This feels like a very, very related to the 3 for Thursday conversation we had recently about how do you heal when people don't apologize? And that very well could be the case here, right? Like, even if you go to your family and say, I was really hurt by XYZ, they may not apologize. And so it is important for you to think about, what are you hoping to get from a conversation with them, or what are you thinking that you still need closure on as it relates to how your family treated you, how your parents parented you, and how can you either give that to yourself, or how can you get that from somewhere else? Because it's very likely that you may not get it from them. And so again, even if you don't get it from them, how do you continue to move on with your life? And it sounds like you're already doing some really good work in terms of healing and, kind of talking with a therapist, it sounds like. And so you're already on the right track. And so just because you feel resentful doesn't mean that you go back, or that you kind of spend a lot of time trying to think through why certain things happen. Because the truth is that it doesn't really matter why you didn't get what you need. The truth is that you didn't get what you needed. And so you may be able to move on, but that doesn't mean that they are ever going to apologize, or, kind of come to you and say like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for this thing that happened. And so if you're holding on to some kind of fantasy like that, I want to caution you that may be kind of holding your healing hostage, because you're waiting on somebody else to give you something that really only you can give yourself at this point. So I do hope that this helps. Thank you so much for sharing your question with us. If you have questions that you would like to have answered in a future Ask Dr. Joy episode, please share them with us at the form that you can find in the comments. And until next time, take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Ask Dr. Joy. I hope this episode gave you something to reflect on and left you feeling a little more connected. Just a gentle reminder that this series is for insight and encouragement, and it is not a replacement for therapy. If you're looking for personalized support, be sure to check out our therapist directory at therapyforblackgirls.com/directory. Until next time, take care of yourself.